Hello students, warm welcome to this wonderful session. In this we have to discuss chapter 4, that is Animal Kingdom. This chapter is divided into 8 lessons. This lesson includes where we have to see that is what we mean by that is symmetry, what are the different bases of classification. Then we have to see meaning of diploblastic and that is triploblastic animals, their examples. Then we have to see segmentation in different phyla of animal kingdom. Children, this chapter in fact theoretically is little difficult, but conceptually this is very interesting one, very colorful one. That's why we have to start chapter 4 Animal Kingdom, and this is part first of this. Hello, welcome to this session, Diversity in the Living World, chapter 4 Animal Kingdom. Dear students, you have seen different type of animals in your surroundings, and over millions of species of the animals have been described till now. You might have seen different type of animals like cockroach, dogs, cats, horses, fish, monkeys, cows, and even your friends, the human being. Some can fly, some can creep, some jump, some walk, and some swim. You see, different type of animals are there. That's why there is need of classification, because we have to describe characteristics. If we classify, then that becomes easy to study characteristics of different animals. Basis of classification, you say, in spite of differences, that is, in different forms of animals, there are fundamental features which are common to all individuals in relation to arrangement of cells, in relation to body symmetry, the nature of coelom, pattern of digestive and circulatory and reproductive system, and these features are used as basis of animal classification, and some of these features are discussed here. You see, level of organization in animal kingdom, nowadays we have only multicellular, that is forms. All members of the Animalia, multicellular one, while in two kingdom classification, phylum Protozoa were also kept in this, which were unicellular one. But nowadays we have only multicellular animals. All of them, they do not exhibit the same pattern of organization. If you see in case of sponges, yes, that is, this is cellular level of organization. They do not have tissue and that is other higher levels of organization. This is simple aggregation of loose cells. They exhibit cellular level of organization. Division of labor definitely is found in some of the cells. If you say the second level of organization here, in case of coelentrates, the arrangement of cells has become little more complex. Here the cell performing the same function, they have been arranged in groups, and this group definitely it is called tissues. That's why this is called as that is tissue level of organization. If we'll go a little higher, still higher level of organization, organ level of organization is found, and this is found in that is members of phylum Platyhelminthes and other higher phyla where tissues are grouped together to form organs, and each are specialized for a specific function. You see, still higher level of organization is there in case of animals like annelids, like arthropods, like mollusks, echinoderms, and all chordates. The organs that have been associated to form that is different systems, functional systems are there. Each system concerned with a specific physiological function. Like this one is like this is digestive system. Like this one is that is circulatory system. Like this one is nervous system. Like that one is reproductive system. In all this system, there are different organs, and all these organs that have been put together to perform a specific physiological function. Organ system in different group of animals exhibits various patterns of complexity. If you see digestive system, even in case of Platyhelminthes, like this is the body of the Platyhelminthes, so it is having only one opening. This opening, that is the food will go through this, and even that undigested particles or that is material will also come out. So in Platyhelminthes, only single opening is there in digestive system, and the single opening it serves both as mouth and anus. Such a system, digestive system, is known as incomplete one. Very important question for examination point of view. And A complete digestive system is having two openings, as in our case. You see that that is complete digestive system. At one end there is mouth, and at other end we have that is anus. Similarly, circulatory system that is of two type, open type and the closed type. Open type means that is the blood is pumped out of the heart and the cell and tissues are in direct contact with the blood. Closed type circulatory system as is found in our cases also, and this closed type of system has arteries, veins and capillaries. Very important again for examination point of view. How to remember? The question came many times. In which type of blood circulatory system capillaries are found? You see, capillaries are found in closed type of system. Tick is there. That is closed means that is closed type circulatory system, and it is related with capillary. C and C. Closed circulatory system, it includes capillaries. Come to the next now. If you see that is symmetry. Animals can be categorized on the basis of their symmetry. This is one type of symmetry is that is asymmetrical one. Let this is the body. Let this is the body of that is any organism. It cannot be divided into two equal halves from any of the plane. So such a body is known as asymmetrical body. The body of sponges mostly are asymmetrical one. That is any plane that passes through the center does not divide them into two equal halves. The example of this is that is sponges, most of the sponges. If we come to the next one, that is radial symmetry. When any plane passing through the central axis, let the body is just like a that is cylindrical body, or let the body is that is spherical one. Let this be center of this, center of this. So any that is plane which is passing through center, that will divide the body of animal into two equal halves. If this is cylindrical body, or let this is spherical body, that these are the different diameters which can divide the organism into two equal identical halves. These are. So we see any plane passing through the central axis of the body divide the organisms into two identical halves. Is it clear? And this type of symmetry is known as radial symmetry. The animals belonging to Coelenterata, ctenophores, and echinoderms, they have this kind of that is body plan. Echinoderm is very, very important one for examination point of view. You have to say that is radial symmetry is also there and bilateral symmetry is also there. Very important we have to see. Bilateral symmetry, that is animals like annelids, arthropods, including human also, that is body can be divided into two identical left and right. You should not laugh. I'm going to draw one diagram here that this is the body of an organism like this. You see, it is like this. You see that the body can be divided into two equal halves only into two equal halves form. That is one of the axes. That is, this will be left and the right one. This type of that is symmetry is known as that is bilateral symmetry. Is it clear? This is the diagram that is radial symmetry. You can see here the body is cylindrical one. This is that central point. From any of the axes, the body can be divided if it passes through center into two equal halves. That is known as radial symmetry. You see, this is an arthropod. Example already I have given to you. The human being also of the same type. That is can be divided into left and right into two equal halves only by one axis which passes through the center of that is organism. Come to the next now. We have here that is diploblastic and that is triploblastic organization. What do you mean by? See that these are the embryonic layers. Diploblastic animal in which the cells are arranged into two that is embryonic layers. The external is known as ectoderm and the internal is called that is endoderm. Such organisms are known as diploblastic one. Have only two layers. That is one is ectoderm and the inner one is called endoderm. Undifferentiated layer that is mesoglea is present in between the two layers that is ectoderm and endoderm. And the example of this is that is coelentrates. Is it clear? Come to the next now, that is triploblastic one, the animals in which developing embryo has third germinal layer, that is mesoderm, in between the ectoderm and the endoderm, and this is called triploblastic animals. And starting from that is platyhelminthes to that is chordate, these are, yes, that is triploblastic one. Is it very much clear to you? That is diploblastic and that is triploblastic one. Is it? So diploblastic example I had given to you. What's the example? Can you? That example is that is coelenterate, and the triploblastic example I had given to you. Yes, platyhelminthes to chordate. These are also very important questions related to examination. For NEET examination, you have to concentrate on this. Okay. Come to the next now, very important one. The diagrams are there. That is diploblastic and the that is triploblastic one. You can see here. Yes, that is this example of diploblastic one. This is the outermost layer. This outermost layer, that one is ectoderm, and this is the endoderm, that is innermost layer, and in between the two, that is this layer is called mesopilia. So example of this, that is diploblastic. Already you have seen. Example of this is that is phylum, that is coelentrates. These are coelentrates. Example of coelentrate, that one is Hydra and others. Come to this point, that is triploblastic one, that is in between this is this ectoderm, and this one is that is endoderm. Between the two, that is this third layer is also there, that this in between the two, that is known as mesoderm, right? This is ectoderm and this one is, yes, endoderm, and in between the two there is that is mesoderm. We'll proceed to the next now. Very important one. Very important for examination point of view. Coelom, the cavity present between the body wall and the gut. This cavity is known as that is a coelom, and presence or absence of this cavity is very important for classification. That play important role in classification. The body cavity, you see, which is lined by mesoderm is called coelom. Very important point. The body cavity lined by that is mesoderm is called coelom. Then based on coelom, the animals are, number one type is, these are known as the coelomate. Animals which have that is true coelom, possessing coelom, these are called coelomates. And the example of this you have to remember, that is annealids and onward, that is higher phyla. All these are coelomates. That is, it includes annelids in which we have earthworm, mollusk in which we have phyla, arthropod, different examples, echinoderms, hemichordata and chordata. All these, that is phyla, they have animals which are coelomate. Clear? Come to the next now, number two, pseudo. Pseudo means false. Meaning of pseudo in biology, that is false. That is the animals which have false coelom. False coelom, what we mean by? That is body cavity is there, but it's not lined by mesoderm. Instead, the mesoderm is present in form of scattered pouches in between the ectoderm and endoderm. Like this is, you see children, that this is ectoderm, that this one is endoderm. This one is that is ectoderm, that this one is that is endoderm. In between endoderm and ectoderm, that is, these are the pouches are there of mesoderm. So this type of coelom is known as pseudocoelomate. Very important again for examination point of view. And such a body cavity, that is pseudocoelom this is. And the animal possessing these are known as pseudocoelomate. And a very typical example of this is that is the animals belonging to phylum Escalamenthes. An example of Escalamenthes, that one is Ascaris. The pseudocoelomate example is Ascaris. The third one is acoelomate. Acoelomate means yes. A means no, nakka, no, absent. Acoelomate. The animals in which, yes, coelom is absent. Acoelomate. The animals in which the body cavity is absent, these are known as acoelomate. And the example of this is platyhelminthes. Can you recall few example of platyhelminthes? Yes, this one is that is tapeworm is there. Tapeworm. That this one is that is liver fluke is there. Is it right? Liver fluke. So these are the examples belonging to platyhelminthes, and these are 𝕆𝕍𝕆𝕆. Is it clear? Come to the diagram of this coelom, 𝕍𝕀𝔻𝔼𝕆, and then that is 𝕆𝕍𝕆𝕆. Coelomates, you are seeing here that this is coelom. Why this is coelom? Because this is what? What are the characters of coelom? Can you recall it now? You see again, coelomates are that is in which that is the body cavity is lined by mesoderm. You have to remember body cavity is lined by mesoderm. You see here this a body cavity. This is lined by mesoderm. That's why this is coelomate. And you have to remember the example starting from that is annellates onward up to that is chordate. These are example of that is what coelomate. Pseudocoelomate, I told you. Pseudocoelomate, that is this is ectoderm. This one is that is endoderm, and these are the pouches of, or we can say that is patches of. What are patches? Patches of this mesoderm. Patches of mesoderm is there. This one is this ectoderm. Is it right? Ectoderm, and this one is children. This one is that is endoderm. So this type of that it is known as what? It is pseudocoelomate. Can you recite the example of pseudocoelomate? Yes, this is again that is Ascalamanthus. I have given here. I'm just reminding you example of this is that is Ascaris belonging to Ascalamanthus. What is the third one? The third one is acoelomate. The coelom is all no cavities there. This is the digestive tract, and here that is the example of this is acoelomate. You have to recall example of acoelomates. These are platyhelminthes, acoelomate, platyhelminthes example I told you. What is this? Yes, this is platyhelminthes. I was just telling you example of acoelomate. Yes, can you recall it now? That is, these are platyhelminthes. Platyhelminthes means the example of acoelomate. That is step 1. Is it? Very important this one is, and the other one is that one is liver fluke. Is it clear to you? So these are that is some typical questions which have come many more time in examination. Children, I told you in the beginning, this chapter theoretically seems to be little difficult, many more examples, many more terms, but even then this is very colorful, very interesting one. And if concepts are clear, you will be able to answer almost all the questions. You see, last year also 3 questions came from this, and almost every year in NEET examination, children, you know, that is 3 to 5 questions used to come from this chapter. This is very important. That is topic, that is coelomate, pseudocoelomate, and acoelomate, and examples of these. You have to remember it. Okay. See, that is segmentation. Segmentation means that is body is divisible. In some animals, you see, body is externally and internally divided into segments. For example, I am going to draw one animal here. Let outside we are seeing here that this is an earthworm. We are seeing that there are 100 that is divisions outside. Then if you see inside also, that is inside also the body is having that is 100 division. 100 the same number of division external as well as internal. So such animals, such segmentation, that is there is real repetition of at least some organs, and in some example for this that is in case of earthworm the body shows this pattern, and such type of pattern of segmentation is called as metameric segmentation. This is metameric segmentation. You have to remember it. Metameric, that is segmentation, right? So metameric segmentation means number of the segments outside and inside that is equal. The very good example of metameric segmentation is earthworm. And remember this question, segmentation, and especially this metameric segmentation is a very important one, and it has come many more time in examination, right? So you see, this is we have to go a little back for this. Children, you have to remember this is the first introductory part of this animal kingdom. I told you that a different type of that is animals we have in our surroundings, and it is rather difficult to study one and all. That's why based on similarities and dissimilarities, we have divided, that is, we have grouped the animals into, that is, classification, that is, basis of classification, and that is hierarchy of classification. The lowest category, that one is the species. In biological classification, already you have seen, then species, that is we have to keep, that is in genus. After genus we have to go in, that is family. The hierarchy of classification. After family, after family what will come, that will be, that is order, and order, that will be, that is class. Class will be, that is in phylum, and that is after phylum, that will be, that is kingdom. So that we have 7 obligatory classification categories known as, that is taxonomic hierarchy. So this is very much essential to classify the organism. And the different bases of classification I told you, that is why the animals have been differentiated, from, that is plants, basic features. Can you, that is recall some of the features? In case of animals, just recall children, in case of animals, all animals in 5 kingdom classification, one thing that these are multicellular one. Do you remember biological classification? All are multicellular one. The second one, that is these are having heterotrophic mode of nutrition. Animals, they can't prepare their food. They are heterotrophic one. They may be of different type. That may be herbivore, that may be, that is carnivore, or that may be omnivore. All these are heterotrophic, and they depend for their food requirement on, that is photoautotrophs. Is it right? The other basis of important classification, you have to see it now. What is that? That is they have holozoic mode of nutrition. Is it right? Holozoic mode of nutrition. Then you see that most of the animals, they can move, that is locomotion is there, important characteristic which differentiate animals from plants. And then we have to see, that is their sense organs and nervous system in animals as compared to plant. Plant, they don't have this nervous system and the sense organs, but even then they show response. The response is of low degree. But in case of animals, as compared to plant, and if you go from lower to, that is higher phyla, that is nervous system is well developed, and they have, that is sense organ. That's why they can perceive the change in environment in a good way, right? And see, different level of organization I told you, that is one is, come on, this is a very important question. Different level of examination, that is organization and their example. Come on, one is, that is cellular level of organization. That's I'm just that is revising you. That is repetition of the same. Cellular organization is found in case of sponge. You have to remember, that is, this is tissue level of organization is found in coelentrates. The example is that one is hydra. Is it right? The still higher of level of organization, organ level of organization found in platyhelminthes. You have to remember example of platyhelminthes. That one is, that is liver fluke. Is it? And then you have to say they, that the highest level of organization, that is organ system. Organs, they have been grouped to make a system, and the system is physiological functioning. It is active one, and for example digestive system and all that I told you already. In case of, that is organ system, we see that is lot of diversity is there. In case of animals, different patterns are there. For example, in case of, that is platyhelminthes, digestive system is incomplete digestive system. That is mouth and anus, if is one, then that will be known as incomplete digestive system. While in case of, that is when the mouth and anus are different, that this one is mouth and this one is anus. The intake of food will be through this, and the undigested food will be thrown out. That is anus, and in that way, that is known as what? That it is called, that is complete digestive system. The same thing we have circulatory system, open type, and that is closed type of circulatory system. Which system is having capillary, open or closed? How to remember? That is C is for closed and C is for, that is capillary. So capillaries are always found or only found in case of closed circulatory system. Is it clear? Come to the next. Symmetry, that is asymmetrical, radial symmetrical, and that is bilateral symmetrical. You know, very important question is that is echinoderms. Echinoderms, children, you see, if you see discuss, that is symmetry. You have to remember it. In echinoderm, we have two type of symmetry. That is larva symmetry is different and the adult symmetry is different. Larva and adult. When we will discuss this, that is echinoderm, that time we have to see. Echinoderm in larva symmetry is different and in adult symmetry is different. Bilateral symmetry, that is exactly left and right halves are there. Okay, these are the diagrams. Radial symmetry and that is bilateral symmetry. Okay, diploblastic, I told you it's very important question. Diploblastic and the example, and then triploblastic and their example. This that is example of this diagram, beautiful diagram of this. And then coelom, the last one is that is coelomate, example of coelomates, annelid onward till last, that is chordata phylum. Pseudocoelomate, the example is that is 𝕐𝕆𝕋𝕍𝕆, an example of acoelomate, that one is 𝕆𝕊𝕋𝕍𝕆. Is it right? And this diagram is very good diagram. In it maybe ask that if this diagram that this represent, there is this diagram is of acoelomate as it found in case of that is 𝕆𝕊𝕋𝕍𝕆. In 𝕐𝕆𝕋𝕍𝕆, ascaris, this is that is pseudocoelomate, and rest of annelid onward, that is up to chordate, this one is coelomate. Is it right? Segmentation, metameric segmentation is very, very important one for examination point of view. You have to, not only in this, even in that segmentation is found in that is arthropoda, and even in case of that is chordata. If you see in our case, we have repetition of that is vertebral column. That is, we have repetition of vertebrae in vertebral column. That's why we also saw some sort of segmentation, at least repetition of some of the organ. Do you remember the repetition of the vertebrae we have? That's why segmentation we have in our body. This is part first, chapter 4, that is animal kingdom. Thank you.